Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at The Adventures of Superman number 505, a retro review from The Return of Superman, coming back better than ever by Carl Kessel, Tom Grummett, and Doug Hazelwood. Cannot wait to share it with you guys. It's such a good issue. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. So it has been said that the death of Superman is not the greatest story, and the stories after that were like really good and really better, like the Superboy, Eradicator, Steel, John Henry, and then the eventual return of Superman with Fabio here. So here he is. I love this classic cover. Tom Grummett is such a great classic superhero artist, very much in the John Byrne vein in a way. If there was anyone, I wouldn't call him a John Byrne clone at all. He definitely has his own style, but he has the same wheelhouse, let's say. Okay, so we have Lois Lane crashing on the couch after a hard day of reporting. There's a knock at the window, and she's, damn those birds. I love this Lois Lane. I don't know. She's so, just sturdy and just like, I love this. This is so great. Superman is so iconic. He really is probably one of my favorite heroes. I loved him so much as a child, mostly due to the Christopher Reeve Superman, because I never really read much of the comic books until John Byrne took over, and then it was all over for me. But I did, like, I always had Superman toys and cakes for my birthday and stuff like that, so I don't know what. So anyway, she opens the window and bam. I mean, it's just so symbolic, so iconic, and just like so recognizable, just like the Nike swoosh or the McDonald's golden arches. Now here we go. She seems casual, pretty casual. Like, fell asleep with my high heels on, answered the window with them, and now they're falling off. Beautiful, gorgeous shot. I love a cityscape. This is what I'm talking about, like when you have this is low-key looks like the Baxter Building, so there's your homage to John Byrne a little bit. This kind of looks like a Byrne cityscape. I don't know why this is becoming about John Byrne, but I digress. Carl Kessel, writer, Tom Grummett, penciler, Doug Hazelwood, inker. They would all go on to the Superboy series, and I freaking love the Superboy series. I think Carl Kessel, maybe he's not underrated. He's definitely known more as an inker, which I love his inks. But he's also a really great writer, too. Iconic, classic. I have to say, if it were up to me, like, Lois Lane would never know his identity. They would never be married. They would never be a couple. I don't know. I don't like Peter Parker and Mary Jane together. I don't like Clark and Lois together. I feel like that's the whole fun, the dynamic of their relationship. I mean, is it too corny and cheesy now in today's day and age with social media and technology? Perhaps. I don't know. This is totally fun. So Superman's back, and tell me that they're having raging, you've been dead for 8 weeks, reunion sex off panel without telling me that. So then he's in the shower, she's getting ready, and then she's talking about, oh my God, you were dead. That was so crazy. What are we going to do? How are we going to explain Clark Kent's return? Nobody bought Superman coming back. I mean, it's going to be harder with Clark Kent. And he gets out of the shower, and one of the greatest panels, I love it. He says, it must have been a dream. Totally homaging. I love it. Like this Easter egg. The show Dallas, back in the day, like in the late, was it the 70s or the 80s, I guess, Who Shot JR, was like the national question from a nighttime soap. And then Patrick Duffy, his character died, and then he was gone for a season, and then he wanted to come back. So they just pretended like the entire season was a dream. Isn't that crazy? I mean, caught a lot of flack, but what can you do? You know what I mean? They should have thought of a really cheesy soap opera way to bring it back. But kind of love it. So anyway, she's like, very funny, Ken. That's a ridiculous idea. Whatever. No one would ever do that. Ha ha ha. Anyway, how do we feel about Clark's long hair? It's just not working for me at all. I feel like the absolute Superman might have long hair, so um, I'm gonna I'm gonna reserve judgment on that because I've been so blown away by the Absolute line so far. So, and Absolute Superman is coming out next week, so I'm very excited about that. I expect it to be my least favorite, so it might wind up being my most favorite. I'm not sure. Anyway, I wonder when, like, the real story is like when he got his haircut and who had the scissors strong enough to, you know, I know who did. Where does Clark Kent get his haircut? Supercuts. Come on, you guys. If you just immediately turned off the video right now, I do not blame you for that. Anyway, kind of love Superman running around with his hairy chest. We have John Byrne once again to thank for the hairy-chested Superman. Looking kind of sexy in his towel, post-coital bliss with Lois. And then he's like, all right, time to go out. You know, I love this here. This is so fun. And I like Carl Kessel's writing because he has such a reverence for comic books. Like, it's a great comic book story, but there's like winks and nods to comic books. Like, they're trying to come up with reasons why, what could have happened to Clark Kent while Superman was dead. And they mention all these ridiculous things that are actual things that happen in comic books all the time. So I kind of like the meta-ness of that. Speaking of witches, then we have the supporting cast. I guess it didn't work out so well for them trying to replace Superman. We have Eradicator on a stretcher, John Henry limping over here, and boy band Superboy and Super Matrix Supergirl, big lumpy ball of flesh, just hanging out. Love the Superboy. Boy band Superboy is kind of funny. Like, they kind of make him a douche, but he's a likable douche, so it's okay. Because I love that she kisses him on the mouth, and he's like, hey, you never kissed me like that. Well, like, she's not some hoe, like, going around kissing everybody. And he's like, you take it the wrong way. I'm like, is Steele taking it the right way? I don't know. Anyway, Superman back from the dead. And this is also, I should point out, like, I'm sure this was intentional, but since this is sort of the return of Superman, it's a very classic, like, Superman comic book. There's a lot of elements that make a great Superman comic book. And we interrupt this MichaelFitzTroytv production to point out the excellent use of Kirby Crackle right here by Grummet and Hazelwood. Thank you very much for that. Nice, tight, concise little Kirby Crackle. Love it. So you have this gang robbing a bank, like such a pedestrian sort of Superman thing. And they're called Loophole. He has this machine that can disrupt molecules and make them unstable, if you will. They didn't say that. I said that. And then see, like, he's punching through Superman, disrupting the molecules around them. And then when he pulls out his fist, they'll reform. But I'm like, but what about your rib cage that just had a forearm in it like a second ago? See, that's when sometimes, like, your suspension of disbelief has to kick in. Like, he would not be able to walk or anything like that after that, right? And he's like, yarg, ouch, take your forearm out of my body. Okay. So, I mean, easily defeatable, let's face it. I mean, all he had to do was, like, rip some wires off of his contraption. And, I mean, shit, Maggie Sawyer could have done that in 5 seconds. Maggie Sawyer, another great creation from John Byrne, bringing the out and proud lesbian to the Metropolis police force, and quite a fan favorite for the longest time. Lex Luthor. I mean, I feel like I was peripheral. Like, I was so pissed when Byrne left Superman. Like, I mean, I did sort of stay on for some of it. Like, I think I got the death of, but I don't know, whatever. I love the design of the Lex Luthor Corps building. I think that was John Byrne as well. I love Luthor, quintessentially bald, decides to grow out a beard and long hair. Just, Superman can't be the only one with beautiful locks. I'm going to get in a time machine and find Hims pills in the future. Or are those for the erection. I don't know. Either way, something, hymns for hair, right? Rogaine. Lex Luthor's Rogaine. There should be a kryptonite that does something to Superman's hair. Gives him a perm or something. I don't know. Metal Men. Love that. That looks so cool. I thought this was the Mystery Machine at first, and I'm guessing they did that on purpose with the colorist. The colorist was having a good time. Did you ever notice whenever there's graffiti in a comic book, anytime, and prove me wrong, people, 100 times out of 100, there will be an anarchy sign present. There has to be. You're not worth your weight in gold when it comes to graffiti if you don't have an anarchy symbol. Trust. And I don't know, who's this character? Bibbo and Krypton. Crypto. We did eventually get a Crypto thanks to Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness, and I kind of love that. Anyway, see, so much fun. Superman's back. He's sporting some long-ass hair. Is it a mullet? It's kind of a mullet, right? And he's got this group of, Supermen who apparently can't handle it without him. Who is that one? Doesn't he he was kind of like Cyborg Superman? I think so. Anyway, so much fun, right? Oh my gosh, I love this. And then Crypto, unpowered Crypto, tips Superman off. I guess his X-ray vision and super hearing weren't letting him know that there were trapped people under the rubble. And then Jimmy Olsen gives Clark or Superman the idea. Maybe Clark's trapped under the rubble like they were. Gee, Jimmy, why didn't I think of that? Let's go look for Clark. Action Comics, number 692, The Final Fate of Clark Kent. Now I'm dying to read that, but I don't even think I have it, so we're screwed, y'all. I don't know. How much fun was that? Great moment in time. Love Superman. Love this creative team. It's such a classic issue. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more soon.